Vishnupurana. Puru Vansh. The lineage of Puru grew as Puru, Janmejaya, Prachinvan, Pravir, Manasu, Abhayad, Sudayu, Bahugat, Sanyati, Ahamyati, Raudrashva. Raudrashva had 10 sons, among whom Raichu was the most prominent. Raichu had 3 sons, among whom Apratarat was most prominent. Lineage of Apratarat is as follows: Apratarat, Alien, Dushyant, and Bharata. King Dushyant had fallen in love with Shakuntala, the daughter of sage Vishwamitra and Apsara. They got married secretly in the forest, and after a few days, King Dushyant returned to his kingdom, promising Shakuntala that he would call her as soon as he reached his palace. He had given Shakuntala his ring as a memento. But while Shakuntala was crossing the river, on her way to the palace, the ring slipped from her finger, and was swallowed by a fish. In the absence of the ring, King Dushyant refused to identify Shakuntala. So, she returned to the hermitage of sage Vishwamitra, and gave birth to a child, who later on became famous as Bharata. Bharata had been very prowessive since his childhood. His first meeting with King Dushyant was also very dramatic. It is said that once King Dushyant was hunting in the forest, he saw a boy who was counting the teeth of a lion. Impressed by the bravery of the boy, the king inquired about his parentage, and reached the hermitage, where sage Vishwamitra narrated him the whole story. Meanwhile, a fisherman had also recovered the ring from the fish, and handed it to the king, who had thus recalled the whole story. In the hermitage, King Dushyant came to see Shakuntala, and he candidly accepted her and his son Bharata. Bharata had 3 queens, and 9 children. Since none of the children resembled him in features, he expressed his doubts about their paternity. Fearing the wrath of Bharata, his queens killed all the children. Then, with a desire to have a son, Bharata organized a Maratsoma Yajna. As a result, he got Bharadwaj as his son. Bharadwaj's second name was Vitarth. His lineage grew as follows: Vitarth, Manu. Manu had many sons, like Brihatkshatra, Mahavir, Nara, Garg etc. Their lineage grew as follows: Nara, Sanskriti, Garupreti, and Ranti-Def. Garg had a son Shani who became famous as Garju, and Shania also. Mahavir lineage is as follows: Darakshay, Trayaruni, Pushkaranya, and Karpi. In the lineage of Brihatkshatra occurred a king Hasti who founded the city of Hastinapur. Hasti had 3 sons, Ajmukh, Dwijmukh, and Perumukh. Among the sons of Ajmukh were included Panchals and a daughter Ahilya. Ahilya was married to sage Gautam. They had a son Shaitanand. Satyagriti was the son of Shaitanand. Once Satyagriti happened to sight the extremely amorous and beautiful Apsara Urvashi. Her mere sight was enough to cause the ejaculation of his semen, which fell on a reed and divided into 2 parts. From these 2 parts were born a boy Krip and a girl Kripi. King Shantanu discovered Krip and Kripi in the forest, and brought them to his palace. In later course, Kripi was married to Dronakarya, the teacher of Kauravas and Pandavas. Ashwatthama was the son of Dronakarya. One of the kings named Kuru in the lineage of Ajmer established the sacred region of Kurukshetra. Kuru Vansh. In the lineage of Kuru, there occurred a king Pratip. He had 3 sons, Devapi, Shantanu, and Valik. Devapi had taken an abode in the forest in his childhood. Hence Shantanu became king after their father Pratip. Once in the kingdom of King Shantanu, there was no rainfall for 12 years. Perplexed by the continuous drought-like situation, Shantanu consulted learned Brahmins. Brahmins informed him that he had no genuine right on the kingdom, which in fact belonged to his brother Devapi. They also told him that as long as Devapi was not fallen from his supreme position, the drought would continue. Alternatively, handing over the kingdom to Devapi might also result in the end of the drought. Then Shantanu's minister Ashmasari appointed certain Brahmins who always spoke in anti-Vedas ways. Their continuous preaching disinclined Devapi's mind from Vedas. On the other hand, one day, King Shantanu proceeded towards the forest along with Brahmins and his courtiers, to hand over the kingdom to Devapi. There the Brahmins tried to convince Devapi to accept the onus of the kingdom. They were citing anecdotes from the Vedas to corroborate their argument. But Devapi criticized Vedas, and spoke in anti-religious ways. The Brahmins instructed the king to return to the kingdom, as there was no use to convince Devapi. They also assured Shantanu that since Devapi had been disinclined from Vedas, he had lost his right to the kingdom, and the famine would also come to an end. Shantanu's younger brother Valak had a son Somadutta. Bari, Parashrava and Shaulya were the sons of Somadutta. In later course Shantanu got married to Ganga and had a son Bhisma. From his second wife Satyavati, Shantanu had two sons Chitrangad and Vichitravirya. Chitrangad was killed by a Gandharva, whereas younger Vichitravirya was married to the princesses of Kashi, Ambika, and Amblika. He was so busy in carnal pleasures with his two wives that soon he contracted tuberculosis, and died. Despite their indulgence in carnal pleasures, Ambika and Amblika could not bear a child from Vichitravirya. Hence, in order to continue their lineage, Satyavati inspired Ambika and Amblika to appear naked before Vedavyasa and beget a child. Since Ambika closed her eyes while she appeared naked before Vedavyasa, she begot a blind son, Dhritarashtra. Similarly, Ambalika grew pale when she appeared naked before Vedavyasa. Hence she begot a son Pandu who was congenitally afflicted with jaundice. Not satisfied by the outcome, Satyavati once again persuaded Ambika and Ambalika to appear naked before Vedavyasa. But the queen sent a maidservant, Vainita, before Vedavyasa. Vainita appeared naked before Vedavyasa without any fear or shyness. Hence she begot an extremely wise son Vijaya. In later course Dhritarashtra got married to Gandhari, the princess of Kandahar, whereas Pandu received two wives, Kunti, the daughter of Shausan, and Madri, the princess of Madra. Dhritarashtra had 100 sons and a daughter Dushala. Duryodhana was the eldest among the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra. Pandu on the other hand had 5 sons, among whom Yudhisthira was the eldest. All the 5 sons of Pandu were born, with the help of 5 gods, Dharma, Vayu, Indra and Ashwini Kumars, because Pandu was carrying a curse that he would die if he ever tried to copulate. Pandu's 5 sons, Yudhisthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakul and Sahadev, came to be known as Pandavas. 5 Pandavas were married to Draupadi, the daughter of Panchal king Drupad. From Draupadi each of the Pandavas had a son. Their names were Prativindya from Yudhisthira, Shrutsan from Bhima, Shrutkirti from Arjuna, Shrutanik from Nakul and Shrukama from Sahadev. Besides them, Yudhisthira had a son Devak from Yodhai. From Hidimba, Bhima had a son Ghatotkachan, from Kashi a son Savak. From Vijaya, Sahadev had a son Sahatra, whereas from Renumati, Nakul had a son Nirmatra. Arjuna was the most prowessive among the Pandavas. Apart from Draupadi, he had 3 more wives, Alupai who belonged to the Nagas, Chitrangada, the princess of Manipur, and Subhadra, the sister of Lord Krishna. From these 3 wives Arjuna had 3 sons, Iravan from Alupai, Vabruvahan from Chitrangada and Abhimanyu from Subhadra. In the battle of Mahabharata all these sons of the Pandavas fought valiantly and sacrificed their lives. It was Abhimanyu's son Parikshit who continued the lineage of Pandavas and ruled the earth till right now. Incarnation of Lord Krishna. Vasudeva, the son of Shausan, was married to Devaki, the daughter of Devak. On that occasion of their marriage, Devaki's cousin Kamsa was driving their chariot. At that time, a celestial voice declared that the eighth son of Devaki would kill Kamsa. Kamsa in the excitement was ready to kill Devaki then and there, but Vasudeva convinced him, saying that he would himself hand over all his children to him. Thus assured by Vasudeva, Kamsa dropped the idea of killing Devaki. When the marriage of Vasudeva and Devaki was taking place, Prithvi approached Brahma in the guise of a cow. She complained to Brahma that population of mean-minded people was increasing and that she was no more able to bear the burden of their anti-religious deeds. Prithvi said, "O Lord, the same demon Kalmai, whom Lord Vishnu had killed in his previous birth, has taken incarnation of Kamsa, the son of Ugrasena. Many other fearsome demons Arishth, Dhanuk, Keshi, Pralam, Sunda, Banajura and many more have taken over the rule, and tormenting the religious people in many ways. They keep million-strong forces. I am unable to bear their burden. So kindly do something to get me rid of this burden." Hearing the words of Prithvi, Brahma said to the gods, "Prithvi speaks the truth. Indeed, she is carrying too much burden. Let us all go to the shore of Kshirosagar, and pray Lord Vishnu and intimate him about all this matter." Then, accompanied by the gods, Brahma arrived at the coast of Kshirosagar, and prayed Lord Vishnu. Pleased by their prayer, Lord Vishnu appeared before them, in his universal form, and said, "Brahma, believe my words and be assured that whatever you and these gods desire shall realize." Thus assured by the Lord, all the gods and Brahma prayed once again. Pleased by their prayer, Lord Vishnu plucked a black and a white hair from his head and said, "Both these hair of mine shall take incarnation on earth and remove the miseries that the people face there. All of you take partial incarnation on earth, to attenuate the strength of the demons. This black hair of mine shall take birth as the eighth son of Devaki and kill Kamsa, who is a reincarnation of Kalnemai." While this conversation was on, Devashi Narada appeared before Kamsa and informed him that Lord Vishnu would take birth as the eighth son of Devaki. Hearing the words of Narada, Kamsa angrily put Vasudeva and Devaki behind the bars. There in his abode, Lord Vishnu instructed Mahamaya, personified illusion, to implant the 6 fetuses who were in Patal, in the womb of Devaki, one by one. He knew that all of them would be killed by Kamsa. Then he instructed Mahamaya to implant his part Sheshur, who would appear as the 7th issue of Devaki, in the womb of Rohini, the second wife of Vasudeva, so that he could appear as her son instead of Devaki's. Lord instructed Mahamaya to appear in the womb of Yashoda in Gokul, while he himself would appear as the 8th issue of Devaki. He also told Mahamaya that he would take birth on the 8th day of the darker phase in the month of Bhadrapad, while she would take birth on the 9th day, and that immediately after his birth, Vasudeva would himself carry him to Gokul, and leaving me beside Yashoda, he would carry her back to Mathura. Appearance of Lord in Devaki's womb. As per the dictate of Lord Vishnu, Yogamaya implanted 6 fetuses in the womb of Devaki. All the 6 children were killed by Kamsa immediately after their birth. Yogamaya transplanted the 7th issue of Devaki into the womb of Rohini, who was residing at that time in Gokul. Then Lord himself appeared as the 8th issue of Devaki. Since the time of his arrival, radiance of Devaki increased manifold. At the same time, Yogamaya also appeared as an issue of Yashoda in Gokul. Seeing the arrival of Lord himself as the 8th issue of Devaki, the gods prayed him with devotion. Then on the 8th day in the darker phase of Bhadrapad, Lord took birth. At the time of his birth, the wind suspended its motion. The rivers attained extremely purified state, whereas dense clouds gathered in the sky, and caused drizzling. Seeing the child born with auspicious swastik mark on his chest, Vasudeva recognized him and prayed him. At the same time, he and Devaki also feared that Kamsa would kill their eighth son also. So, they prayed the Lord to hide his divine appearance. Lord assured them that their ordeals would end soon. Then Vasudeva put the child in a winnower, and started his journey on foot to Gokul, carrying the winnower on his head. Because of the influence of Yogamaya, all the guards fell asleep, while the gates of the prison opened automatically. It was raining heavily at that time. So when Vasudeva reached in the open, Sheshnag spread its hood over him, to shade the Lord from rain. In Gokul, Nan's wife Yashoda too gave birth to a girl child, but because of Yogamaya's influence, she did not know anything about the birth. Vasudeva arrived there, and putting Lord beside the sleeping Yashoda, he took her baby and returned to his prison in Mathura. As soon as the baby reached in the prison, she began to cry loudly. Her cries awakened the guards, who ran to inform Kamsa about the child's birth. Kamsa at once arrived there, and snatching the baby from Devaki's lap, he dashed her on the wall. But before he could throw the baby, she slipped from his grip, and taking eight-armed Jagdamba's appearance, established in the air. Laughing loudly then, Mother Jagdamba said, "O Kamsa, you cannot kill me. Your killer has taken birth. Lord Hari had been your death, in your previous births. In this birth also he will kill you. So from now on, make efforts for your benefit only." Saying this, Jagdamba vanished. Worried by the words of Yogamaya, Kamsa called a meeting of his prominent demons and said, "These evil gods have hatched a conspiracy to kill me. But being a brave man, I do not take these gods into account. You have yourself witnessed how Indra fled before the shower of my arrows. You would also remember how the clouds rained heavily in my kingdom, when Indra had forbidden them from raining on the kingdom, and I had pierced them with my arrows. All the things on earth, except my father-in-law Jarasandh, bow before me in fear. I don't care for the gods. Even their efforts to kill me make me laugh. But still I must not take the word of Jagdamba lightly, that my killer had taken birth. We should therefore kill all the children who have taken birth, within the past few days." Instructing the demons, Kamsa approached Vasudeva and Devaki in the prison and released them, apologizing his cruel action in the way of killing their innocent children. Putana. When Vasudeva was released from the prison, Nan visited Mathura on some official trip. He also came to see Vasudeva. Vasudeva greeted him for the birth of a son, and instructed him to return to Gokul as soon as possible. He also requested Nand to look after the son of Rohini as his own son. After meeting Vasudeva, when Nand was returning, many kinds of thoughts were disturbing him. In the Gokul while Nand was away, an ogress Putana had stolen the little Krishna in the night, and was breastfeeding him with her poisoned breast. But little Krishna sucked even her life through her breast. Making a loud noise and assuming a huge body, Putana fell on earth and died. Only then the village folk came to know about the incident. They also saw little Krishna sitting in the lap of Putana. The frightened Yashoda swept little Krishna, with the tail of a cow, to do away with all the bad omens. The other cowherds also prayed Lord Vishnu to protect the child from all calamities. Killing of Shaka. When Lord Krishna was 27 days old, a festival was organized in Gokul. Mata Yashoda bathed the baby, while the Brahmins recited hymns. Yashoda saw that baby was feeling sleepy, so putting him in a cradle, she left it under a cart. The cart was loaded with pitchers of milk, curd and butter. After some time, Lord Krishna awoke, and began to cry for a feed. But amidst festivities, Yashoda could not hear his cries. Meanwhile a demon Shakataja rode the cart wishing to press the cart and thereby kill the Lord. But before he could act, the Lord touched the cart with his feet, and lo and behold, the cart turned over and all the utensils kept on it came crashing down. Even the demon was crushed to death under the cart. Other boys, who were playing nearby, informed the gopis, ladies folk, that the little Kanhaiya had turned over the loaded cart, but they did not believe the kids. Yashoda ran in horror, and lifted the baby in her lap. The Brahmins recited pacifying hymns then. Thereafter the baby was bathed again with sanctified water. A feast for Brahmins followed then. Ultimately they were seen off with many gifts. Salvation of Trinavart. Once Mata Yashoda was playing with the baby Lord in her home. All of a sudden she felt as if the baby was getting disproportionately heavy. Soon, she felt herself unable to bear the child anymore. So she left the child on the ground, and began to pray Purushottam Lord Rama. Soon afterwards she forgot about the event, but all was not over yet. Trinavart, a demon minister of Kamsa, had arrived in Gokul as a fierce cyclone. He covered entire Gokul with dust, and blinded the people temporarily. For a moment people could not see anything, and during that moment Trinavart blew the baby in air with him. When the dust settled, Yashoda did not find the baby Krishna, where she had left him. She felt extremely sorry, and fell on ground in depression. Other womenfolk also gathered round her. They too began to cry, not seeing baby Krishna there. In the form of cyclone, the demon Trinavart had blown baby Krishna with him, but he too could not bear his heavy burden. So he began to lose his velocity. Lord Krishna caught him by neck. The demon died in a few moments, and his dead body fell in the Raj. And Yashoda got a new lease of life, when she saw baby Krishna safe and sound. Nand and other gopas too were overjoyed.